see this parking lot is full of a bunch of idiots. Idiot in that truck right there. Idiot in that truck right there. And that truck over there doesn't have a Tethrd sticker, but he's an idiot too.
Bunch of poachers.
They are. I mean, they're probably doing illegal stuff. So we're gonna go back in here. We got about 7-mile bike ride to get back in here. We're just gonna shoot a booner on the first day and just be done with it. I mean, I don't really feel like wasting any time, so we'll shoot a big one and nap the rest of the trip. Day 2 of the hunt. It's about 20 after 5. We had bad storms last night. A lot of rain, wind. It's going to be windy today, gusts over 40. We're going to go back into where we were last night. We may set up on the ground, we may get up in a tree. It just depends on what the wind looks like. So we got a buck that came up this little draw right here. He's about 60 yards away. And I can't tell what it is. Like, he's definitely got 3 up on each side. It's got to have 4 points to be legal. Or 4 points on one side. So we're trying to see if he's got browse, but it's a decent looking buck. He's just behind a big tree down here. I don't know what he's doing, but we're trying to see if he's legal or not. So we saw that little 6-point there a little bit ago. He came up this finger, this ridge, going away from us. Just spotted another one do the same thing, and it was a big buck, like 140 plus. Looked like a big heavy 10-pointer. Me and Dylan were just gonna run over there. That's 2 bucks now we've seen in the past half hour or so. We're just gonna run over there and try to set up on the ground probably, so that's where the deer are at, so we're just gonna move. So me and Dylan ran down the ridge here, got it set up in this tree. It was super quick. I mean, we were set up in probably 10 minutes tops. But we've seen 2 bucks come up out of this bottom and come up this little finger ridge right here. So we figured we would just get set up and sit for a few hours and see what happens. But that last buck that come up through here, we didn't get any video because I just caught a glimpse of him he was cruising pretty quick, but he was a big buck. He was easy 140 plus. Really nice buck, so we figured we'd just get aggressive and run down here and set up. And if we see one off in the distance, we'll run down the tree and go after him. So we're just gonna try to stay as mobile as we can and go where the deer are. So that's our plan. But we're gonna sit still here for a couple hours and see what happens. Seems like mid-morning the bucks will start cruising once the thermals start rising. But it's really windy today, as you can tell. So we're just gonna hang out for a couple hours and see what comes through. So it's about 11 o'clock. We decided to climb down. We're going to go scout a couple spots out, go back to the truck, probably get some lunch, and then turn around and just head back out. So definitely a little chilly right now. Wind's been ripping all morning. So hopefully we'll get warmed up here, moving around a little bit. Go find a couple more spots to hunt and make a plan for this evening. I don't know, we'll probably go try a different spot tonight, but we'll figure it out here. But at least we saw 2 bucks this morning, one real good one, so I feel like we're in the game. We just need to get one in here close. Well, we're pushing back into this river bottom. Dad is set up a little ways back, probably 200 yards. There's a real heavy crossing going over to these fields that are across the river. But we're pushing on back just to see what kind of sign we can find. And we just found some really good buck sign. There's a really good rub and a scrape right here. It's not super fresh, but I'd say they've worked the rub pretty recently with the shavings that are on top of the leaves. So it looks like a pretty good spot. So we're going to look around a little bit and try to pick a spot and set up. No deer live here. The end. We haven't seen a single thing this afternoon. The wind's died down. It's nice and cold. Must be in the wrong spot. We haven't seen anything. So we've got about an hour of daylight left. So if we don't see anything tonight, we'll pick a new spot in the morning and try it again. I see him over here on the hillside coming down. Gonna come down this trail. Why can't they design these things to be quieter? Jeez. I think I'm gonna position myself like this way. Okay. That way I can see that way without turning around. Yeah. Well, me and Dylan are set back up right where we were yesterday morning, where we saw those 2 bucks. We figured it was worth another shot this morning since those bucks kind of did the same thing, going over this ridge point. So we had some bike trouble, so we got in a little bit late, but it's just now cracking gray light and we're all set up ready to go. So I think we did pretty good, but it's nice and cold this morning. There's no wind, so hopefully these bucks will be up and cruising a little bit today. spring, and we just had a pile of does come up this little draw right here. And there was looked like a little 3 or 4 point that was kind of pushing him, but he worked his way off, back down low on the ridge. The does went up over the top, so at least we finally saw something. It's been really slow this morning, but looked like there was 4 or 5 does in that group. They were well out of bow range for us, so I don't know. We'll hang out here for a while longer and see what happens. Well, you want an update?
Yeah.
Screw you and your updates. Alright, so we sat till about 11:30. We're gonna go check a few areas out. We're gonna hunt creek bottom tonight, I think. When we were riding out last night, we saw a pretty good buck run across the road in front of us. He was coming out of that field in the bottom. So nobody's really been hunting the creek bottoms at all. Everybody's up high on the ridges. So we may get down where we could see a little bit tonight, on the edge of some thick cover along the creek. And maybe throw the decoy out and see what happens. So I'm going to go get some lunch back at the truck and then head right back in for this afternoon. So we'll see what happens.
That sound good to you?
Sounds good to me, Dill.
Alrighty.
We're going to go get one tonight.
Alrighty.
So Carl said, and I quote, "This field that we're in is a barren wasteland." So nobody's been in here to check it out because he said that. So we decided to come check it out because I don't trust anything Carl says. And this field is full of clover and winter wheat. And there's a scrape right here on the edge where he's just trashed the tree. So, Carl, you're just trying to keep people out of your honey hole. I know how you are. So we got set up. It's, I don't even know what time it is, probably 3 o'clock or so, but we're set up over a skinny little clover, and I think it's winter wheat that's in this field, but it's real pretty green. There is some deer sign around the edge of the field, so I think some bucks are probably using it to check for does and stuff like that, but we're actually in the spot where Greg shot his buck last year. He shot a really nice buck out of this spot. We had to climb a pretty gnarly tree, but we got up in here. We got a little hole in the canopy that we can shoot through. So if anything comes out in this field, out to about 35 yards, we should have a pretty good shot at it. But nobody's been hunting in this bottom, so we don't know if the deer are using it. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, you got a green food source and a creek bottom surrounded by heavy cover, so there has to be some does in here using this, and this time of year, if there's does, there's bucks, so that's the hope. But me and Dylan decided to try it out tonight just to see what was going on, if it was worth another sit. But we did see a nice buck run across the road last night. As we were riding our bikes out, we were hunting another spot back on this creek bottom, so as we were riding out, a real nice buck ran across the road, and he was in the field, so that kind of tipped us off that these deer might be using this. So we're just going to sit here for the evening. It might be an observation set, but you never know. It's the rut. We're in Missouri. Anything could happen. So it's not somebody we're riding. It sounds like it almost. tonight was pretty slow. We saw one little spike. It came right by us here, and we got kind of excited because we heard antlers clashing together up here on the side of this bluff where we really didn't expect anybody to be, but there's a guy over there, and he is walking out right now, just plowing through the brush. But he was in a pretty good spot over there. There's a low gap in the bluff wall, and that's where he was at. But yeah, just one deer tonight, so really slow. So probably back to the drawing board tomorrow to try to find another spot.
For your life.
Get your bow, get your bow, get your bow. Here it comes.
For your life. 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 For your life.